sunrise brightens up an ashen morning sky. A hazy purple sunset says goodbye at twilight time. That big old yellow Texas moon is mine and only mine. It's just Texas, being Texas, ain't she fine? Blue stem grasses weighted down by early morning dew. Indian paintbrush, black-eyed Susan's bonnets painted blue. Honeybees a buzzing round a honeysuckle vine. It's just Texas, being Texas in her prime. It's just Texas, being Texas, the place I love the most. Dry winds of the western plains or salt air of the coast. From the lazy days of summer to the chill of wintertime, it's just Texas, being Texas, and she's mine. A white-tailed doe is watchful as a fawn lays by her side. A baby raccoon finds a hollow tree where he can hide. The silence of the forest broken by a raven's cry. It's just Texas, being Texas, she ain't shy. I hear voices of the settlers who have passed this way before. I see ghosts of horsemen riding across the open plains once more. As they trail the longhorn cattle from another place and time, it's just Texas, being Texas in my mind. It's just Texas, being Texas, a place I love the most.
Welcome, CASETA members, and all of you who care about the remarkable history of Texas. The acronym CASETA stands for the Center for the Advancement and Study of Early Texas Art, and I believe it effectively sums up our mission, which is to advance the understanding of the visual arts heritage of this remarkable place. At CASETA, we've defined early Texas art as any art created by any artist working at least 40 years prior to the present day. And I believe that definition really helps to keep us forward-looking and continuously looking at the unfolding and dynamic panorama of our visual arts heritage. For many years, CASETA presented a live annual symposium featuring expert speakers, delightful social events, behind-the-scenes visits to museums and private collections, and an art fair that featured early Texas artworks for sale by some of the leading and important art dealers, galleries, and auction houses. Unfortunately, because of the COVID virus, we had to cancel the 2020 symposium, and because of ongoing concerns, we are not going to be able to present a live symposium this year. However, I'm very pleased to say that this year we have created this online forum that you're about to participate in. It's going to include a visit to a major exhibition, talks by noted scholars and experts on various aspects of early Texas art, a tour of 3 noted private collections in Houston, and again, a spotlight on Texas art dealers, galleries, and auction houses. This program is brought to you as the outcome of a tremendous amount of hard work by a committed team from our board of directors, and also with the support of a large number of enthusiastic donors who strongly believe in our mission. And I can't tell you how gratifying it is that so many people have come forward to continue to support CASETA in these very challenging times. Although we have this hardworking group and it's a very serious team, I want you to know that it is also a Texas-friendly and fun-living group. And in that regard, it is now my great pleasure to introduce the president of our board of trustees, Scott Chase. And he's going to share with you a uniquely Texas idea to help you get relaxed and ready for some of the truly delightful programs you're about to experience. Scott, it's over to you.
Thank you, Howard. As Howard said, my name is Scott Chase. I'm been proud and happy to be the board chair for CASETA this past year. So welcome to the 2021 program. I know most of us have missed the camaraderie of the in-person symposium, and this happy hour is meant to restore some of that camaraderie. But before I get to the cocktail making, I'd like to say a few thank yous. First of all, I want to thank Howard Taylor, Allura Henderson, and Blanca Hernandez for their fine work in putting together this program, as well as all of the other programs that we've had this year for CASETA, including the Curatorial Wander. Also want to thank Sarah Beth Wilson and Bonnie Campbell, who have co-chaired the committee for this program. Their committee consisted of Noe Perez, Paul Bueller, Christian Kelleher, Charlie Adams, and Stan Price. Together, they made this program possible, and I thank them for their hard work. So, let's begin making our Texas cocktails with Texas ingredients. And my first cocktail will be what I call the Tejas Warrior, which in this case will be Texas whiskey. In my case, it's Cooper Rye made in Ledbetter, Texas. And I always like to measure my drinks. So we're going to pour 2.5 ounces of this Texas Rye, and then 1/2 ounce of Lieber & Co. fig syrup. This company makes these syrups and cordials that we're going to use tonight in Austin, Texas. So it's a Texas cocktail with a Texas ingredient and a truly Texas icon, Topo Chico. I always like to put a little water in my whiskey drinks. I think it adds a little texture to the drink. And the final thing we're going to do is black walnut bitters. You can use any bitters you want, but I like black walnut with my whiskey. So we stir it up, add a little cherry garnish. Cherries always make every drink perfect, I think. So there's our first drink, the Tejas Warrior. Our next drink, cocktail, will be the Drought Stricken area. And that's going to be made with Texas vodka, in this case black eye, made with black eyed peas and corn in Fort Worth, Texas. We're going to again measure 2.5 ounces of vodka. And in this case, we're going to use Lieber Ruby Red Grapefruit Cordial. And of course, Ruby Red Grapefruit is a Texas product, so this is in place of vermouth, essentially, in the martini. This is really a vodka martini, if you think about it. So we're going to shake it up really well. All the bartenders in the country tell you to shake it up really well for your martini. I have a special martini glass here. One of my friends sent it to me recently. It's got a pretty color, don't you think? A little bit of golden, so it's a very nice color. And then I always like to add a little garnish to all my martinis. In this case, we're going to use onions to make a pretty drink. And that's called the Drought Stricken area. Our last drink is going to be 2 drinks, actually. They're mocktails, and we start out with Topo Chico. And we're going to use some of this other Lieber & Co. products. We're going to make one really pretty spicy, the mocktail. We're going to use fiery ginger syrup and stir it up. In this case, we're going to use cherry bitters to cut the fieriness of the ginger, because it is fiery ginger syrup. Again, garnish it with some cherries, which I think always dress up a good drink. And our last drink, the mocktail, is going to be blood orange cordial. It's going to be a little sweet. Got a pretty red color, blood orange, obviously. Stir it up. And in this case, we're going to use Angostura bitters. The orange cordial is a little sweet. We're going to make the Angostura bitters a little spiciness to that. Again, stir it up. Cherry garnish, we have to have that. And there we have, this is the Watering the Herd, those 2 mocktails. So we have made Tejas Warrior, we've made Watering the Herd, and we've made Drought Stricken area. I'm going to take the Tejas Warrior, because Tejas Warrior is actually in Fair Park, the Alley Tennant sculpture there, and toast to the 2021 program of CASETA. Thank you.